Tonight on Behind the Details with Chelsea, we're sitting down with three amazing women and moms, Kristi Torres, Christine Morden, and Julie Tree. Whether they're detailing cars, doing podcasts, creating YouTube videos, or selling products for other manufacturers, these three women are paving the way and doing a kick-ass job on making a name for themselves within the detailing industry. So hopefully you guys will join us as we get to know a little bit more about these three women and will be inspired by what they can do. So let's go ahead and get started with the show. All right, guys, welcome to the show. Christine, I have to say that was a great save. Her dog totally took the camera down for a second.
Oh my gosh, I completely forgot to put the gate up, so it is what it is at this point.
Who knows what we're going to have, but
Chelsea.
We're here for it. Welcome to the show, guys. I have been so excited to have this episode. Being a female in this industry, being just in this industry is hard work. Being a female in this industry, I feel like adds a whole nother level of challenges and makes it so much more rewarding. We've got Kristi Torres, we've got Christine Morden, we've got Julie Tree. I want to introduce you guys to these amazing women. Most of you probably already know Kristi Torres and Christine Morden. Julie, I have not seen much from you, so I'm excited to get to know you because I've heard you're pretty amazing. Ivan has definitely talked you up. So what I was hoping to do right off the bat is if you guys should just do a brief intro, let me know where you're at, how long you've been detailing, and just a little bit of how you got your start into detailing. We'll start off with you, Julie.
Hi. Yeah, thanks for having me. I've been detailing for about 4 years. I'm in Alaska, so some different situations here, a lot of dirt roads and snow and ice. And started out in my home shop. My boys were getting older. It was time to work. I was lucky enough to be a stay-at-home mom. Their whole lives I coached. And I decided detailing would give me the freedom to be able to still travel, coach. I didn't want to miss their events, so I could go pretty much anywhere, just block those days off. Got to go watch their hockey games or whatever sport they were doing, and it's all worked out.
That's awesome. Christine, how about you?
Hello. Yes, it's been a long time, Chelsea. Thank you for having me on. It's been a real pleasure to be able and chatting with all you ladies to come back on and do a podcast. I'm very excited. So for those of you who don't know, I'm in Michigan. So this is a good old Michigan map. I'm right here at about the center here. We do experience a lot of winters, so I'm in my slow season. What else do you want to know? I do ceramic coatings, paint protection, film, detailing. I've been in business for 6+ years. I am a single mom of 3 beautiful boys, 2 dogs. The 4-year goal is to buy a bunch of property and hopefully start living off grid. So I would love to kind of get away from this whole rat race eventually.
Okay. It's not a bad goal to have.
No.
Kristi, you're next.
Well, I'm Kristi. I am in Central California. Our weather is super mild right now. You can literally detail all year long when you're in California.
I'm not jealous.
You know, I always laugh because it was 58 degrees today and I was at work in a scarf, you know. I know most people would laugh at me right now if they were. But anyway, I found detailing during COVID because I needed something to calm my nerves. Started watching a lot of YouTube channels and, really did the whole YouTube college thing. But I really didn't start detailing for, money, if you will, until about 2 years ago. Okay. Before that, it was just kind of, friends, family, acquaintances. I am not, a full-time detailer. I am a teacher full-time and I detail on the weekends. And the summer months are usually, when I'm busiest. It's really hard, especially, during the school year to do a lot because I'm busy. I have 4 kids. I'm a single mom of 4. So I'm constantly having to do, the sports events and extracurriculars and all of my school things that happen at my school. So it's tough. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So.
What kind of support systems do you guys have to be able to do detailing along with kids, along with everything else you do? Kristi?
Well, as I said, I'm a single mom, but my oldest is 18.
Okay.
And then I have my younger children who are 6, 10, and 12. So, when I have my kids, especially right now, it's on the weekends if I do anything. So luckily I do have an older child who's here that can really help me. She's amazing. She's she's my saving grace, to be honest. I don't know what I would do without her. She's in college now, but I'm like, please don't move out yet. Please don't
Commute.
move. So my family's a huge support. I could call my parents any day and be like, hey, can you come over for a little while, a couple hours? I have a detail I'm going to do, and they'll come over and take the kids to the park. So I'm lucky to have that.
Yeah. What about you, Julie? You have 2 boys, correct?
I have 2 boys, but when I started this, they're both in high school still. I think my oldest might have just moved away to New Hampshire at 17 for hockey. I'm not 100% sure on the time frame. He's 22 now. My youngest is 19. So he was definitely still in high school, just driving. But my support system is, I kind of look at it a little differently. Like, my husband has an excellent job, so it's not a do or die type thing. Mm-hmm. But still, when I do something, I'm all in. But it allowed me to jump in quicker, get everything I needed. He doesn't help with the details at all. Not his thing, which is fine. Okay. He loves it when I wash his truck. I hate it when he washes his truck.
Same. My husband knows better. He's like, can I do the tires? I'm like, no, you don't do that right. So.
But my boys would help me here and there. My youngest absolutely hates it, but he'd go wash floor mats for me because I was grinding, just by myself trying to, some grinding days. And then my oldest actually did help me more on the details for a couple of summers when he came home before he went to commercial fishing and stuff like that. So they've all supported me in their own ways, which I understand. My husband works. That's what he does. He supports me also cooking dinner now. So that's awesome. So it went for me cooking dinner every night. So he's week on, week off. And when he's off, sometimes it's breakfast. He does, he's a week of days, week off, week of nights. Sometimes we get my breakfast and lunches made, and sometimes it's dinners. So it's kind of nice.
That is nice. My husband does that more often, probably than he would like, but he's definitely stepped up in that area. And it's so nice to be able to have just that little bit of support. I do try to help out when I can. I don't know why I have this like innate desire as a mom to like do it all. Mm-hmm. And have realized that for my mental health, for my family's mental health, like I need to start just asking for help. It's really hard for me for some reason to ask for help and to say, I can't do it all. I need help cleaning. I need help. Yeah. And fortunately, my kids are older that they're starting to help out with those things. And my husband, like if I'm detailing and he's home from his work, he'll, normally step up with dinner. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so nice. Yes. Thank you.
There's definitely a transition adjusting to all the different roles we were all kind of playing, I guess.
Yeah. Christine, what about you? What kind of support system do you have with your 3 boys?
Gosh, I was listening to this and trying to think. It sounds ridiculous, but I'm very, because I am divorced, I'm thankful for the support I get from my kids' dad. Mm. So if I didn't have the relationship to co-parent, this wouldn't work. And as a mother, we all feel that mom guilt whenever we can't take on every little thing.
Yeah.
And I've turned into almost like the cliche working dad, that we all grew up watching on movies that, was absent for some practices or for special events or couldn't attend all of the school functions. And just like you, I wanted to do it all the time. And I was burning the candle at both ends. And I just had to give up. I've had conversations with my children and have said, I'm sorry, I can't make this cross country meet because I have to work late. Like, this is what I'm doing. I'm running a business and it's hard. It's hard because it is a stereotype that a mother should be there nurturing their child and be at every event and every school function and picking up and dropping off and buying and washing clothes and making all these dinners. And I had to give up some of that, the responsibility of it, and say, I can't make this one, and I will text you, and I can't wait to talk about it, but I'm just not going to be there. And it's hard. It's hard, and I still feel instrumental guilt about some of this, but just I think and just the co-parenting. My parents are great. They go to meets and events, so I feel represented, I guess, right, at some of these. But I think just overcoming the mind that we have to be everywhere at all times and be the best at everything.
I'm thankful that I get to do this as a career because it gives me the flexibility. I'm not the breadwinner. I don't have to have a grind where I do this 6 days a week, 9 to 5. Kristi, people like you who literally are doing what is it? You're 7 to 3 for middle school.
Well, yeah, 7 to 3:30 actually, and then
you're coming home and then you're just putting on another hat to cook, to take them to everything. Like, I don't know how moms like you do all of that. I feel like I have the easier route that if I want to take a day off to go to a field trip with my daughter, I can. I have that flexibility. If I want to take a day off to work on my YouTube channel, I can do that. That's one of the conveniences, I think, of doing this as a side hustle. I was talking to Adam the other day from Draco's Detailing, and he's doing 6 details a week, working 6-7 days a week, and I'm like, I would burn out. Like, I would be exhausted. I would lose my passion. So I think I'm not going to say women can't do the 7-day straight grind, but on top of everything else, there does need to be some boundaries, and putting your mental health, your physical health, and everything as a priority. What are some things that you guys have learned to kind of help balance all of those boundaries? Julie, we'll start with you.
Okay.
You're just waiting. Which one?
Yeah. So a weird thing is my favorite thing to do is to play hockey. So some people like to knit, some like photography. There's so many different hobbies. For whatever reason, hockey became like my outlet, my happy place.
Yeah.
And so I make sure I skate. I skate about 4 times a week. I have a 50 and older group I skate with of guys. And then I have a team that they call it Rusty Blades. It's usually just men.
I love the name.
Yeah. Awesome. And so that's like, I make sure I go and do that because that is fun. And then the next thing is find somebody that you can work with that is amazing as well. Like, I got super lucky last year to start working with a lady. I call her my coworker. Yeah, I'm the boss, but we're something else in the garage. I wish we could just live feed it. Maybe we're the only ones that think we're funny, but man, we have fun.
Sounds like a good best friend.
So much fun. Yes, she built my webpage. She's helpless. She's a graphic design person, like built my logo, and she can do it all. But except for polishing, she's not quite there yet. I don't think she'll ever do that. But good golly, we have fun. So that finding somebody to work with actually really helps, even if it's just a couple days a week. I think that's a big thing. Some company.
Kristi, what about you? Because you're kind of in an environment that you do get the kind of relational connection outside of detailing that I think someone like me might miss out on because I work by myself. But do you still struggle with like finding boundaries and balancing it all with everything you do? What are some things that have helped you?
I think one of the biggest things is just kind of what Christine was touching on a little bit is just kind of telling myself that if I can't stay on top of everything 100%, that it's okay. I kind of learned, when I started detailing it again, it was more, that's my happy place. Like, that's where I was going to unwind. That's where I was going to, with everything going on in the world, to just make it all disappear. And that's still kind of how I see it. So I balance my life by going into the garage, by coming home. And if I need to take a break, I'm going outside. And I don't know if I'm really answering your question completely because I'm not sure. But, balance for me, I don't know that I have found found it.
It's okay to say that. I haven't.
I don't know that I have found it. My life is hectic. It is a constant. I mean, there is not a point. And by the time I sit down at night, I'll put it this way: I am either falling asleep, passing out in my chair at like 8:30 at the first time I sit down, or I'm up, every hour because my brain won't quit. Like, there's no happy medium yet. I don't know if I'll ever get there, but I'm trying. You know what I mean? I love my job, and detailing is kind of what I've done to help keep me sane.
So detailing is your therapy.
It's my therapy. That's my sanity. Yeah, absolutely.
What about you, Christine?
I'm going to hit the basics. So early on, I had decided, after the rush of starting the business and getting into the real groove and feeling like I had somewhat of a grasp on finances of what was coming in and what was going out of starting a new business. I set boundaries, like I'm not going to really talk to people, clients past, 6, 7 o'clock. And I know that even might seem ridiculous to some people. But
answer the phone, they always say.
Right. Or anytime I was in the shop, like anytime I was in the shop, I would drop everything to answer a phone or answer emails or walk-ins or what have you. I mean, I still can't get away from walk-ins, obviously. You can't just tell people, hey, so I'm in the middle of something. But I try to set some of those kinds of boundaries. And like I was discussing earlier, really trying to tell myself that I don't have to do everything every single day at an 11. Like, it's okay. Like, I can have time where I'm just working. Like, I'm working, or I'm not working. So setting those at least on and off switches, which might not be exactly like a 9 to 5 or banker hours, but learning to at least stop sometimes.
Yeah, that's very, very important. Going back to how you guys started off with your detailing careers, how long did it take for you guys to see growth? Like, when did you realize this is a thing that is more than just maybe doing it for friends and family? I could actually start a business. Like, how long did that take? And just touch a little bit on what that process was look like, going from side hustle to doing it as a career. We'll start with you, Christine.
Oh, okay, great.
You're like, I'm always last. No, we're going to spin it up.
I got real lucky. We started out of our garage, and we instantly were almost able. I quit my 9 to 5.
Were you doing this with your ex?
Yeah. So a partner of mine, like an ex, a long time ago, right? 6, 7 years ago. He was doing it full time. I was doing it part time, and I don't even think it was it was between 3 and 6 months. I was like, no, I'm good. Like, we can do this. I mean, it still was. I mean, anytime you start a business, you're like, but and it went okay. So since that point, other than the highs and the lows of business, it didn't take long for me.
Okay. Kristi, what about you? I mean, you said you've been detailing for about 2 years.
Well, for money, if you will.
Okay.
Yes. The first 3 years, I really was, again, for me, it's fun. Like, I'm doing this because I enjoy it, not because I need that money. Although I started to realize that, actually, it was my sister. I was detailing people's cars, and finally, my sister was like, why are you doing this for free? Like, you're good at what you do. Like, the results, people are loving their cars. Why do you keep doing it for free? Like, I just never in the beginning was thinking like, I need to charge for this. You know what I mean? Because it just didn't start out as that kind of venture. And then Bruce, it's funny, he kind of made a comment, that I started buying all these products and then I needed to be reimbursed. And he's not 100% wrong there, because there was a moment where I was like, I am putting money into this hobby of mine. Like, why not why not start charging people? Like, maybe I really can do this. It took me a few years to gain the confidence to think that I could charge.
That's why I started a YouTube channel, because I had to justify all the things that I bought. Let's just review them. Let people know.
I did, and it was really weird. I'll be honest with you. For like the first 6 to 8 months, it felt really weird, doing this as a business or charging people, because I still wasn't that confident. And
were your prices really low at the start?
Yes, I did. I kind of tried to look around my area. My area is super saturated. Like, this area has detailing. I mean, people are detailing on every other block. It seems you see, a mobile detailer or a brick and mortar. So I was a lot lower, and I since have, raised my prices a little bit. I still don't charge probably what I should. Like, if I said what my prices were, people would probably be like, "You're stupid," but at this point, again, until, I would love to do this. I would love to do this more consistently. And I think if I did, I would start to kind of look at my prices a little more closely. But if I can make $300 on a Saturday, I now can afford groceries for the next couple of weeks, or I can take my kids. Exactly. Or I could take my kids to the movies, or I could buy them a few clothes, take them to Target and buy them. You know what I mean? Like, that works for me. And so I've kind of just been status quo at that point, and okay with it.
Don't compare yourself to other people.
No,
Definitely not. If you're making what you need to make, then you don't.
Yeah.
Other than being a detailer in the industry where I am doing it for a living, just make sure you're comparable, that you're not trying to super undercut and being like the Walmart of
exactly. Because I think
you're very
trust me.
Well, and I want to hear Julie's opinion on, or like story to how long it took, but I want to kind of put in the back of your mind. So when I get to this point with a question, like, do you guys feel as a female that you have to, how do you stand out in a market that's saturated with men? Because for me, I think I have something, I feel like maybe this is just my thoughts. I feel like I have something to prove to my customers because I'm a woman. And so my tendency early on was that I had to lower my prices to just get them in. And I quickly realized that that was kind of undervaluing myself. But did you guys feel that struggle as well when you first started out, that, oh, I'm a female, like, I've got to stand out. And so the way to do that is lower my prices. But Julie, kind of combine that in with that question.
So things picked up pretty quick for me. I started in March. I think I opened my doors on a March 1st. And, first couple of weeks, kind of slow, but summer started coming along. And then I was booked 6 weeks out pretty darn quick.
Okay.
And then things did slow down for the wintertime, but I was okay with that. I didn't advertise or anything because I grinded. I was working 7 days a week my first summer, just trying to get people in, not making them wait. So there, I kind of overdid it there. The first 2 summers, I overdid it a little bit. I didn't. So I've kind of, I'd say, been in a man's world somewhat my whole life in a sense. Like, I was always a tomboy. I love sports. I actually have coached Pop Warner football. I've coached hockey. So the Pop Warner football helped me. I think the best part, it was.
I forget that you're my hero, Julie.
Holy cow.
If
ever there's a fight at SEMA, I want her on my team.
It was a lot of fun. My kids played, but then the coaches need help. They understood I understand sports. I ended up being the offensive coordinator, ran every play for offense, and we ended up winning state championship when the kids were like U12. And it was a great season because we went from like worst to first pretty darn quick. So it was a lot of fun. But that, I think, was my biggest start going into, like, because that's why I asked the coach that asked me to help coach. It's like, what do you think people are going to say? It's like, I don't care. It's like, well, okay, thank you. And just went from there, never had any complaints. And I don't know. So I've been exposed to it. It is in the back of my head. But I'm just kind of, if they have an issue with it, then they're not my customer and they'll go somewhere else and we're good to go. So.
Have you guys ever had to deal with customers that think you're incapable of doing detailing because you're a woman?
Mhm.
And is it not the most satisfactory thing when you can be like, I can polish, I can ceramic coat, like
Oh yes, I've had a client who I've had an employee standing kind of next to me, and the employee, or the client came in, immediately made eye contact with my employee, who was a male, and like I immediately like redirected the conversation to him and was like, so I'm the owner and I'm the one working on your car. I mean,
I'm not the secretary.
Right, I'm not just the scheduler.
Yeah.
But no, it is few. It's not many. It's only been probably maybe a dozen people that I've come in contact with that, and it's better now for me anyway that I'm the only one in my shop. I don't have a male counterpart. But yeah, even when I had, somebody that I was dating here from a product company that was here, some clients would come in and they make eye contact with a male. And that's, you just have to let it roll off your shoulders. It's taken me a couple of years. I used to get real defensive on it, and not that I would show it to the client, but I for sure would go in the other, into a bay or something and be like, oh. But now it doesn't bother me whatsoever. And I'm just going to go ahead and roll into my answer to this.
Yeah.
Which is I, at a very beginning of this, I knew that being a woman, and I'm short, I'm petite, I don't claim a lot of presence as far as my whole stature. So
I have a picture of you with Pan the organizer to prove that one.
Yes.
He was straight up on his knees.
His knees at the same size, right? I've learned that I just need to know exactly what I'm talking about at all times. I need to be an expert. I need to know exactly what I'm saying when I'm saying it. And then I have the confidence. I have everything I need in my tool belt to be okay with somebody questioning or making me feel the vibe of you're a woman, you don't know anything. So education, continued learning, know what you're doing, and all of that kind of stuff will kind of melt away. Yes, it will come up from time to time. There's going to be sexism. There's going to be patriarchy. There's going to be all this stuff. But just know what you're doing, be confident in it, and really that's it.
I think you make a great point, Christine. And that was one of the spurring agents for me with creating the educational kind of content that I lean towards. Some people, when they make content online, they just show before and afters. Some show like the whole progress, what it is. And I think for me, I had this need to validate what I knew by showing it to customers. I created the videos and content to kind of educate them, but in a way to kind of show my worth. To be like, I do know what I'm talking about. Some people would probably say I don't, not everyone. I know, some people, we all disagree on techniques and different things like that. But
there's a million ways to do everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kristi, what about you? What are some of the things that you've dealt with as far as with customers, and how do you handle it?
I haven't had too many, but I have had a couple. In fact, I think it was probably at the beginning of last summer, because I detail out of my driveway. And so must have been a neighbor, because he came up walking and he was like, I noticed you wash cars, do you know where I could go for a ceramic coating? And I said, well, to be honest with you, right here, I could absolutely, what are you looking for? And he kind of looked at me and he said, you know what a ceramic coating is? And I was like, wow.
I've had those.
I was like, crazy, huh? Like,
do you?
Absolutely do. Isn't that so weird, right? Like, kind of trying to
funny. Here's a cup of coffee. Let's check.
You son of a, you know what I mean? And he
Yeah.
just kind of started laughing. He's like, but really, do you know where I could go? And I'm like, really, sir? I said, yeah, no, I really don't. But have a good day. You know, I was petty at that point because I could have sent him into many directions, but I just instead wanted to send him packing. Like, you know, and again, he wasn't extremely rude, but it was just the assumption that, like, really,
sometimes people aren't a good fit for us, and I have
They
said
do,
that too.
but-
Like, we're not a good fit.
Yeah.
I've had a.
funny. Oh, sorry.
No,
I was
go
just
ahead,
going to say,
Kristi.
not too long after that, when I first started my YouTube channel, you know, like you were just saying, Chelsea, I agree, because I got into the mindset where it was like, you know what, I want to show men that women can do things like this, you know, because it's not a man's world. Like, we are here, you know what I mean, and we're not going anywhere. And so I think it's when I had so much pride when I did the video where I took apart a polisher to change out the grease and put it back together, because my whole thought was like, watch what this
There's
woman
gonna
can
be
do.
a
You know what I
missing
mean?
screw.
I took this damn tool apart, put new grease in it, put it back together, and guess what? It still works.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Awesome.
I've rewired one of
You know?
mine, and I'm like, yeah.
Dude, I feel like a badass when I can just change like the bushing on it or whatever. I'm like, I need a needle nose plier, and I'm like, look at me, I'm using tools. Like,
I mean, did I doubt myself? Hell yes. Did I do it anyway? Like, yeah, you know.
were you watching Brian Spittler's video on how to do it?
I did. I absolutely did. Yes.
I had to watch that one
know.
too.
Yep.
Brian Spittler changing lives over here.
He is.
In
too.
fact, I think I even mentioned him in my video. Like, I just watched, I said Brian or Apex or something, but you're absolutely right.
He's the only one that like
Yeah.
shows you that.
Shows,
Sometimes
yeah, I'm like,
sometimes
Like,
John
real
from
close,
Forensic does
yeah.
it, but
Mhm.
Actually,
I love it.
Papa Smurf had done it too. So I kind of took, you know, from both of them, and I was like, you know what, I got this. I can do it.
do you guys feel, and I don't want to make this all about like, I'm really, some people might be getting a different vibe. I'm really not a hardcore feminist. I do want to uplift women in this industry. Do you guys realize that there are so many more women in this industry than people really know? And they're not just the spouses working with the husbands on the side.
No, they're quiet.
But I feel like they're quiet. You're right, Christine. They're afraid to speak up. There have been so many women in like Facebook detailing groups that will say, I want to comment, but I'm afraid because there is not every guy, and none of the guys in the comments, obviously, because we have amazing viewers and followers. They are the most respectful and kind people,
agree.
but there are a few that it is egotistical. There is and I'll get to this in a second.
That's what I think it is. I think a lot of guys are more egotistical than women. So we don't necessarily feel the need to be in front of the camera as much as a man. And boys, I don't mean any ill respect.
We're not talking to the men in the group.
No, but I just think as in general, the male species is a bit more egotistical. So they do enjoy that kind of stuff where women are just less that. And so we just want to get our job done. And that's kind of it. And maybe a little bit of also being a mother and all those other things kind of come in place. We don't have that, or we don't feel like we have that kind of thing.
Do you guys feel like there are stereotypes for detailers, men and women? Do you feel like you have to fit a mold in a way? Because I'll be honest, when I first started detailing, there weren't a lot of females that I saw. There were a few, but they had a type, and they were young. They were beautiful. They maybe showed assets a little bit more than I would. And I am not that. I intentionally cover up because I'm a mom. I don't need my kids watching this in 10 years and be like, God, Mom, like, why did you wear those pants? You know?
This isn't OnlyFans, right?
But I do feel like there's also a little bit of a stereotype for male detailers that it just, I don't know. I don't meet them all the time, but
stereotypes like in the industry, or do we mean?
I think in the industry, not, you know, that I've seen the guys that have the really tight jeans, the really tight t-shirts, the tattoos, the backward hats, you know, like all the tattoos, and they're out there. There's like a kind of a rocker vibe going on with some of the guys. You know what I'm talking about, Christine.
watching those.
And I mean,
I'm sorry, I'm single.
I know.
you're
I'm
like, I like that
yeah.
stereotype. She's like, I'm here for it, you know?
Like, what channel are they on? Can you drop the link, please?
I just described a married man for you, so I'm not going to tell you. It's pretty much Jason Otterness, that kind of guy. And no, Amy, don't come for me. No, but Jason is like that stereotypical detailer that is kind of youthful in appearance.
Ears are hot.
I don't know why you're blushing. I have a headphone on. That's why I'm blushing. But there is a stereotype, like a look. And I remember when I was at the Creator Summit, Christine, like I felt like I had to wear the backwards hat and all this stuff because everyone was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And I'm like, this isn't me. I'm not that trendy cool mom out there trying to do something.
Wants you to have a persona, right? Everybody. If you're going to be in an industry and you're going to be the face of something, and I can speak to this with some knowledge, you have to have an on-screen persona if you want to be successful. Ivan has one. We all have one. That is that. This isn't generally my look. This is detailer chick. You know, I'm more of a hiker vibe kind of girl. But
that's your true self.
Yes. But guys, I think they take more on of that, hitting back to that ego kind of thing. I'm still like
the comments.
Like,
the comments are going crazy. I shouldn't have said it, but I did. I have the most respect for him. Seriously, there's nothing more than professional respect.
I'm trying real hard to be professional.
Nobody tell him I said that, or I swear to God, I will send you DMs that you're not gonna know.
Yes, obviously. How do you
What are we talking about?
We were talking about stereotypes with men
that-
and women, but like as a female, like do you feel that need to have a look and Christine, I think you had a good point, you know, just to be unique, be yourself. Because Julie, no one's gonna, you know, coach hockey and football and all that stuff, and I mean, you're completely badass. Like
I just grew up, like I said, complete tomboy. But I think the biggest thing is I really accept each and every person, like individuals. I didn't really see so much of a stereotype. I just see people being people. And but for me, I had to gain a confidence before I started this, and that actually came from listening to Gary Vee. So his is just kind of be yourself, and who cares what anybody thinks. So I think if I started this before I really listened to Gary Vee and gained my self-confidence, I might have tried to be somebody else. Maybe. I don't know if I could do that. But now I'm just like, whatever. This is me. Hi. And I don't know.
I think it also comes with beauty, though, or age comes with beauty. You know, beauty comes with age. What's that phrase? Help me out, Kristi.
Beauty comes with age.
There we go. And I think, honestly, the older we get, the less we're trying to be someone we're not, and we're just embracing our true, authentic self. And I think that in and of itself is beautiful, because you just become a little bit more comfortable. And honestly, we don't have the energy to care.
Yeah, you don't give a...
I mean, I don't even wear makeup in my videos because I just don't care anymore.
Good
like
for you. And
the cars
it's not
don't
even about not caring, just
do you?
authenticity.
Yeah.
The cars
that's
don't care if
awesome.
I have mascara on or not, you know? And my customers are not coming to me because of the way I look. They're coming to me because of what I know and what I can do.
Absolutely. I'm always somebody that's like sucking up my sweat with like my
Oh, whatever, Christine, you're gorgeous. And I see those detailing models photos that you're over there. Like, and I love him. I wish I could do it. So, oh my gosh, I'm really, this is so hot. Oh. All right. Let's shift over to detailing. So when you have you guys have Julie and Christine, you detail out of shops, correct?
Yeah.
Or Julie, do you shop? Okay. So how do you guys find time, or what are some tips to manage time between work and family life? Let's go with you, Christine.
Oh, okay. I feel like this one is very tied to a question that you had a couple of minutes ago about support systems
well, I'll say this as a detailer. Like, what are some tools or maybe softwares or things that you have found
that cut down on time, that make my life more efficient? Okay.
Yes. And maybe I phrased the question wrong. Like, how have you become more efficient to manage time to balance work and family?
Okay. Yes. Efficiency is key, no matter what I'm doing. And, as I have worked on efficiency in my business, I've noticed that I've always been an efficiency seeker my entire life. I love that Ivan once said, I'm a great detailer because I'm lazy, which I
explain that to me.
Okay. I'm lazy, so I want to do everything as quick as possible in the least amount of steps.
Okay.
Right? I'm lazy. And so
work smart, not hard.
Right. So You're Able has been hands down one of the best investments I've ever had. Especially now that the whole Evans family always wants to make life easier for detailers. And it's so genuine and organic. And I just can never say it enough that You're Able is amazing. So if you don't have that implemented in your business and you want to be more efficient and you feel like you could benefit from efficiency, that is where I would go. So as an owner operator, my day is nearly cut in half on time, right? And I say that because half of the time I have to be doing the job. Nearly half of the hours in my day are spent answering phone calls, answering walk-ins, answering Facebook questions, posting on Facebook, all of these things that take up time. And giving quotes is another huge one, right? We have to sit down and type this all out, send it to them. It's a very big time suck, and You're Able has cut that time down. Like, you can put these almost templates in actions, and they call them workflows. And really, I just have them all set up, and they just go, and people can select and then even pay a deposit. It's phenomenal. I mean, I have obviously other practices that make my life way more efficient in the detailing, down to like washing a car and interior detailing. I can tell you, if you ever want to know what my practices are for interiors, exteriors, let me know and I'll tell you. But I have cut my time down substantially with experience and products when it comes to even just actual services. So knowing what you're doing and having the right products will cut your time down. And if you are a true business owner, you will know that time equals money.
Yeah. Julie,
sorry, I kind of went off in a rant there.
No, I mean, all of that was spot on. I use Detail Bookie, but having a scheduling software will definitely make
any scheduling.
I'm too cheap to use You're Able. It is a little Detail Bookie is like $60 a month. Yeah. Julie, do you use any sort of scheduling software?
So I started with Detail Bookie. I'm still actually on Detail Bookie. Absolutely love it, especially if you're getting started out. It was, I think it's the best thing for anybody starting out trying to find prices because it's all built in.
And it's not a complicated software.
No. And it's super easy to set up. We set it up. I mean, I had a 30-minute call, set it up within 2 hours just to kind of adjust the prices more to mine. Vehicles are in there. Descriptions are in there. Everything you need is in there. And so if you're just getting started out, I really like that for people. I am switching over to You're Able right now.
Okay.
And because I'm really gearing in on customer service and some of the different things that You're Able is going to be able to offer. And we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to go well. We haven't fully kicked into year A, but we're still setting it up right now. But I definitely detail bookie when you start now, you need pricing help. Phenomenal. But like I said, I just want to go to the next level. I'm trying to grow a little bit and do some things there. That being said, if I didn't have those, I would have been a mess. I am like with efficiency, I am efficient in certain projects. I'm always trying to find the fastest, best, smartest way to do things. But good golly, I have most likely ADHD, self-diagnosed. It's bad.
Yeah. Hi.
And there's times where and so my life is so bad.
If you can't tell from this conversation.
That's where my friend that works with me, there's times I'm like, oh wait, I gotta go do this. And I walk one way and oh wait, I gotta do this. No, I did. She's like, stop. You have to make this phone call first. I'm like, thank you, I do. Because I'm just like, and she'll throw me in line sometimes and I love it. And so that's actually what I'm working on right now is, if you've read Fix This Next, the book, great book.
Thanks, Eddie.
My Fix This Next is my brain. I gotta get it lined up. And so I'm trying to start scheduling my hours, my minutes. And Jonathan Monson, I don't know if you know him, Dirty to Dreamy. I've been doing stuff with him in his groups. And he's kind of one that pointed that out. So scheduling my time throughout the day is my next step to help with some of my ADHD tendencies. I don't think it'll ever go away. Also, diet helps with it a little bit, but some days I am a squirrel.
I think Kristi and I are actually going to be doing an episode in the future discussing ADHD because I'm pretty sure every detailer has a touch of it.
It must be a prerequisite or something.
That and OCD, a little bit of OCD,
yeah.
a little type A, a little controlling. So I'm sure we all have tips. What you were saying, Julie, as far as having to plan things out, I have found that timers, I have like an Echo device in my garage and I set timers. I know how long it should take to do a job. And I will set a timer to pace myself to that because I thrive with pressure. One of the things with ADHD is we procrastinate. So, but when you have a guideline that you have to get it done by, I'll push myself to that. So that has really helped. And just making lists. I swear to God, if I didn't have a list. Yeah. And I mean, if I get something, well, put it on your.
There's so many lists. I can't keep track.
Put it on your list. Put it on an Echo app and you can have it there and it'll remind you. I put it in my calendars to remind me. But yeah, having software to help scheduling with quoting and things like that, understanding your processes and your chemicals. Like, Kristi, what are some things that have helped you with your business on the weekends and things like that? Because you've got a lot of kids running around.
For me, and right now, you guys would laugh at me if you saw my garage, but usually it's organization. If sometimes I get into a habit where if I don't put things away after I have used them and I just let things start like piling up, I can't function.
I have doom piles in my garage right now.
Yeah,
it's bad.
You know what I mean? The same thing with like the laundry. Like if I don't wash my microfibers, have them all in one place. Like, there are sometimes they'll be everywhere. It's just, I have found that I really have to stay organized and I have to mentally tell myself, I am done with the wheels. Guess what? I'm going to put away my chemicals for the wheels. And I do have a cart, but what I've noticed is that my cart looks like the chair in my room. You know what I mean? All of a sudden my cart is just full of things. So, it just, for me, it is organization. It's making sure that I know everything has a place. That way
Get more carts.
Yeah, I don't have enough room. I wish I could.
That's my problem. I'm out of room.
Like 10 carts.
Actually,
you have a shop. We have to share bikes and balls and everything else.
I'd be scared to have a bigger piece because, gosh darn it, I could mess it up real quick. Let me tell you what.
Oh my gosh. But when it comes to detailing, well, let's kind of shift here. What has been your biggest challenge? And give you guys a second to think of that because you all look like you're pondering.
Yeah.
Kristi, how about you? You look like you have an answer. What's been your biggest challenge?
I think what I just said.
Organization.
I mean, really, just, this.
I'd love it if that was my biggest struggle.
To be honest with you, this whole ADHD, it has been later, adult onset. This isn't I've always struggled with anxiety, but this whole ADHD thing has kind of piled up on top of that. And to be honest with you, I'm not super, what's the word I'm looking for? I haven't really figured out how to completely deal with it, if that makes sense.
I can make some book recommendations if you like reading. That have helped me.
I do. So for me, organization has just kind of been that one big, like overarching idea where, if I can get myself organized, then everything else kind of flows. The minute that things are a mess, then I'm a mess and everything else is a mess. Does that make sense?
No, I'm that same way. Once my house starts to go into chaos, my mind is in chaos.
Exactly.
My mind is currently in chaos, by the way, guys, because my house is.
Yeah. And then I'm the type that'll wake up, at 3 a.m. and wonder, like, where's my birth certificate? Or like, where did I put that? I'm serious, like weird things, because I know I'm so unorganized. I'm telling you, I have serious issues, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, and I think as detailers, especially people who do content creation, there is this drive to try products and test things out. So then that just leads to more clutter.
Yeah.
And then having to store it, and then even if you want to make it look nice and neat in the videos, another problem with ADHD is object permanence.
Throwing away products. I hate it.
No, my biggest issue is object permanence. If I don't see it, I forget I have it.
Yep, same thing.
And if I want it to be nice and neat, I'll shove it in a closet, close the doors, and then I'm like, I have like $300 worth of waxes that I've had for like 2 years. They're probably expired at this point.
I found a whole tray of ceramic coatings I forgot I had. There was probably 15 ceramic coatings that I probably had there for 2 years. And I'm not joking.
Check them.
I'm like,
go with God.
Good? But how awful, because you know how many hundreds of dollars are in that tray?
I know.
Just that because I had pushed them in the back of, my little storage unit in the garage. And it's like, when you finally get that spring cleaning vibe and go through things, and it's like, crap. You know what I mean?
It seems like everyone has that same struggle.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. Misery, it doesn't love company, but sometimes.
Julie, what about you? What has been your biggest challenge when it comes to detailing?
Man, I don't know. It's a tough question. Working on my communication, I think, has been the toughest challenge, and making sure I make phone calls and feedback and doing that. And so I'm forcing myself to call and check in with clients, and just a little bit more that way, because it's easy to just kind of, they'll call me if they have an issue or this or that, or just kind of let things be. But I want to know, some people are nice. They want to let you know if, hey, what about this or that? I'm trying to really communicate with the clients and just keep things open, so I'm easy to talk to. And just, I don't know, I just want a good customer service base. And so I want to really grow that. I think that's one of the big things. And then the next is, when I have somebody bring me a vehicle, they tell me, I take care of my stuff. And then I go to detail it, and I'm like, ugh.
Not so much.
How do you tell them that, this might actually cost a little bit extra? So I let that fly way too much, and it takes us quite a bit extra time. And so communicating that, which I'm getting better at, and we're working on it. And so that's getting a little better.
I had that same struggle, Julie, with customers, feeling like I was afraid to tell them it was going to cost more, that I was going to somehow offend them.
Yeah.
But the reality is I deserve to get paid for the work that I'm doing. And, there's a scripture verse, you have not because you ask not, that has become my mantra when it comes to detailing. If I don't tell the customer that their vehicle needs something and I just give it away, I'm actually missing out on potential business in the future. So if I simply say, it's going to cost extra for this, you have the choice to refuse it right now. But if you want it, this is what it's going to cost. Give them the choice. Because before, I used to do it for my own ego or for my own mental health thing. I can't let it go unless it's perfect.
Yeah.
Who knew they might actually pay for that the next time, or maybe add it on to that service if I just simply had asked. So I think everyone gets to that point eventually. Maybe it only takes 2 cars where you're like, you know, not get paid enough for this crap. But when it comes to detailing, you shared what's the biggest challenge, but can you guys think of what has been the most rewarding thing for you being in this industry? Christine, you look like you've got an idea. Let's start with you.
Oh gosh, yes. I know this is going to sound so cliche or like that I have rehearsed this, but every car that comes into my shop, I almost treat like my own. And I know it's been like 6 or 7 years, but every car, even if I'm cleaning out like a shit box, excuse my language, vehicle or a mom's vehicle, I want it to look really nice. Or if I'm ceramic coating it, I'm thinking, oh, this is my brand new vehicle. I want it to look so nice. So every vehicle that comes in, I'm treating it like it's my own. And it doesn't matter what year, make, and model it is. I'm treating it like it's my own.
Yeah. What about for you, Kristi?
To be honest with you, the most rewarding part of all of this has nothing to do with cars and more to do with the people in this community.
You're here.
I at one point, COVID and prior, I was in a really dark place. And detailing has really kind of changed that for me. And the people that I have met in this community, and honestly met, when I say met, I mean like online through messaging this way, like not even face to face. And there are connections that I have gained that I feel closer to than some people I've known my whole life. And that has been just a ray of sunshine, as kind of cringy as that sounds. That is the part that has just kind of really drawn me in. Yes, I love, again, it's my therapy. Like, this is what I do to make me feel good anyway. But the people that I've met along the way has just made it so much more rewarding.
What about you, Julie?
There's quite a few things thinking about it. Every detail is pretty much rewarding. That reaction you get when people pick up their vehicles, it's an everyday thing. So you get that every day.
It's a little bit of a drug. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Yeah. And, even when I get the mom cars, I'm like, I think back when I was, a mom with little kids and all this stuff, and the relief I would feel when my car was done, or just my house gets cleaned, something, that relief you get. And so I get excited when I'm doing those dirty cars for them, especially to just have that relief. I've been able to, so coaching's always been a big part of my life. My coaches helped me a lot when I was younger. And so once I started detailing, I realized I can do, I might not be coaching as much. I still coach hockey, but now I financially try to donate and give that way to a lot of schools. That's kind of my goal and my vision, is to help give more to kids that need it. And I do free details here and there, but a good story I like to share, if your kids play sports, you're ever around, we all have kids play sports. My thing I like to tell everybody in my coaching career and get the word out is, when you have kids that don't always have a ride, try to give them that ride and get them to that event. Because I had a boy that I coached, he passed away at, I think he was about 18, 19 years old from cancer. Well, when he was younger on our hockey team, his mom was going through things. She was on and off of drugs, this and that. But if it wasn't for the parents and everybody else that helped out, like, what kind of life would he have had? And so I think of that too with the detailing, is I want to be able to give back to those kids that they might be in that situation. Just one more day, one more good thing that we can add to their life. And so that's kind of where I look at the financial part of it. And I really want to give in that sense. You don't know how long somebody's childhood's going to be. And so I still need to talk to that boy's mom and, like, what does Gary Vee call it? Give her flowers and let her know that he will forever impact me. And luckily she got clean and everything before it all happened. And just turned her life around. It's great. But I
Feeling
want
like
to
you've impacted, life. Yeah, I agree.
and what I do and why I want to do things.
I can tell you have a really big heart, Julie.
Yeah.
What is it like detailing in Alaska? Like someone asked earlier, what area of Alaska are you in?
So
And
South
how do you
Central.
handle it?
So I did the hand thing. I don't know which way it goes on the camera, but Alaska, we're down here south of Anchorage. It's, I don't know what the temperature is. My computer didn't say. It's probably 20 degrees right now. So we're ranging
Having a
20
heat
below,
wave.
up and down.
20 below?
Not right now. It will get 20, 30 below.
Okay.
But luckily we have a heated shop. We have in-floor heat. So when it gets really cold, we start getting some moisture issues. And I used to have to squeegee the water out of the shop. And so I get ice dams and stuff like that. But we have a drain now. And so I'm not mobile. People ask if I'd ever do mobile, but we have like 4 months. It just doesn't seem like it'd be worth it to do that. Plus, we can do such a better job, I feel, in the shop with the equipment I have, steamers and so.
I was always nervous considering doing mobile detailing as a female, like being bent over in a car in a precarious position.
Thing.
I was like,
where do you use the bathroom?
I know where they use a bathroom. Yeah, that wouldn't work for me. My husband's like, don't touch that Gatorade bottle. I'm like, okay. But it wouldn't work for me. But when so Christine, you deal with a lot of winter stuff. Kristi, you have perfect temperatures. What are some of your favorite products, tools with detailing right now that have become like your go-tos? Like what would be your go-to setup for a full detail? Kristi, let's go with you.
So to be honest with you, lately I've just really kind of latched on to rinseless because it is quicker, faster.
We've all been groomed by Ivan, so we all love that.
But I've also really gotten kind of onto this whole hybrid wash thing. Have you guys tried Loki, by the way?
Not yet. I have a bottle. I think it'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah. Amazing stuff.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, amazing. But see, I like the foam. I'm one that loves the foam. I just
foam in the winter does not work outside.
I'll foam anytime. However, for me, I'm starting to really understand that the quicker I can do it and still get the same results, the better it works for me. So honestly,
it's
my
mindset, right?
Yeah, it is. And if I can even, if it's just like a maintenance, not anything that needs, big cleaning, then I'm using rinseless on everything. Now, I have found though, I don't know about you guys, I have found that I still need see it slaps. I have found that for bugs, we have a lot of baked on bugs here. I live in a very rural area. So we're going through trees and gravel roads, dirt roads, not gravel. Like it's rural in my area. So rinseless doesn't always work for the bugs. That's why I've kind of gotten to the hybrid. I've really started to learn that I need to pre-treat, but pre-treating rinseless and then, something for the wheels and I'm good to go. I don't like to do interiors. I'm going to be honest with you. I do them. Interiors are not my thing. I'd like to stick to exteriors and get them done. You know what I mean? I'll do them, but I'll tell you what, I've had some mom car, you're talking about the shit mugs. I've had some cars come to me and just like you, Chelsea, I've been like, I didn't think it was this bad. You said it wasn't that bad.
Right, the infamous words, it's not that bad.
Dude, when a customer says it's bad, you better run.
Okay, yeah. To be honest, can I tell a quick story really quick? And I feel so bad. I have a coworker who has kids. She brought me her car one weekend and she came from Fresno. Now this is a town that's about an hour from me. So she drove just to bring me the business, which was great. If I can tell you, I can't even look at this woman the same. Literally, like I opened the door and threw up in my mouth. Literally, there was like the smell of cat pee, and there was definite like on
You
the
can
table
say no. Did
from
you
one
say
of her
no?
kids. She drove from an hour. She's literally 2 kids in the class right
No.
next to me. And I just was like thinking I have all my rinse lists, my bucket, one
Committed.
bucket ready to go. And she pulls up and I open the door and I'm just like, well, looks like I need a lot more equipment than this today. So, man, I had to pull out the steamer and the freaking extractor. And that thing took me about 4 hours when I thought it was just going to be, actually, it was more than 4. It was probably 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you threw up in your mouth and you got that done in 4 hours, like
I did it,
kudos,
to
but
be honest with you.
Thinking that too, I was like, wait a
couldn't-
minute.
I told her at the end that I couldn't do anything more with it. Like, it was to a point where it's like
Good for you.
that's
Yeah.
all I
Was
could
she
do.
happy? Was she happy?
She was. You know what? I was so proud of myself at the end. I'm like, you know what? Good job, Kristi. But
I've made a difference.
it was better.
I had one guy
I went
recently.
off on a tangent there, but
I had one guy recently that he had like a $300 gift certificate that it was expired. Like I normally like put a 12-month staple on it. Like if you
Sure,
come,
yeah,
but it was
I get that.
like 13 months. So I was being gracious and he brings this thing to me and number one, white car, pretty much gray or black. It's so dirty with tar and road film, brake dust, all this stuff. The inside was just crusty with body oil and the smell and everything. I mean, impossible carpet, stuff shoved into it that I'm like, okay, do we use the 300 on the inside or the outside? And the 300 on the inside is just going to cover a vacuum, like not much more. And I texted him and said, and the other thing is that he had a battery jumper on the passenger seat. And I'm like,
what do I do with
dang.
it?
why is this here? And he texts me, I go to start it, the battery's dead. And I'm like, I'm not a freaking mechanic. Like, you got to have a car with a like functioning battery for me to even start the detail, let alone having the doors open for hours on end to vacuum it. I mean, there are some days I open a car and I'm like, frick me. Like, frick me. This is
So
going to suck.
you put in
No.
the battery.
No. So I texted him and I said, it's going to cost more than $300. You're going to have to pick and choose like inside, outside, and it's probably going to cost more than the gift certificate. I said, the other issue is I kind of need it to be working. I can't even pull it into my garage. He's like, yeah, that's why I have the jumper there. You can just jump it. And I'm like,
How thoughtful.
I said, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's going to be an extra charge.
I said, I'm sorry. You're going to have to come pick up your vehicle. I will refund you the full amount for your gift certificates. I literally was like, thank you, Jesus. I didn't have to do it. I mean, there are some details that I'm just like, oh, I hate my life. But when you get those ones that, like you, Julie, when you have a mom that, I've had some that 4 kids, they're piling out of it, car seats, crumbs, all this stuff. And I'm like, this is going to be a rough day. And it might not stay this clean that long, but I know like she's going to feel darn good for 5 minutes afterwards, So it definitely, you take your wins and your losses sometimes, I think.
Yep.
When it comes to the detailing industry, what do you guys think are some improvements or changes that you would like to see within the industry as a whole? And I know that's a broad question. You could go in the direction of products or how people interact with females and women and stuff. So take it however you want to go with that. But what are some improvements or changes that you would like to see in the detailing industry? Go, Christine. I love it.
No. Buckle up, Buttercup. No, no, I would love to, and this is why I agreed to do this podcast, even though I've kind of stepped back from the industry in a very hard way. I want way more women as faces of companies, way more. It's still a very, very, very good boys club in the industry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to elaborate more on that with personal experiences, but I want to see more women in the face of product companies.
I think that's mine. And I don't, Kristi, forgive me, you look like you were about to step in there.
Oh, no, I was going to agree.
Yeah. When you have women like Sydney and Robin and Jennifer Turcotte out there representing women, but I can't think of many more. beyond that. And those are some larger brands, and kudos to them, but that's one woman with like 4 or 5 guys.
Yes, and a woman that tried to do that, it's hard. It's hard.
Do you feel like they see us as incapable? Or do they think that their audience would think that we're incapable? Like, is it a marketing thing?
I think it's just a good old boys club still.
Yeah.
I think it's just male on male feeling good about transactions with other males. I don't have a great breakdown for that. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Chelsea.
No, you don't have to.
My intelligence level does not, I don't have experience. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a doctorate in psychology or anything like that.
I'm a very analytical person. Like, I always want to understand like the why behind things.
Oh, me too, girl. But I think it's slow going. We as women, I don't really want to get on this soapbox of women and women's rights, but I mean,
I agree, and
right?
that's not what I want this to be.
No, but I think women in powerful roles, it's just going to take time, and it wasn't the right time for me. I would love more women to break through those chains, but I think it's just going to be slow. But I'd love to see more women as product bases, only because, not because of any vanity reasons, more because we look like experts in our field.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I don't think that the industry is quite ready for that. And this isn't anything personal. I really want to make sure that I'm saying that this isn't anything personal with anybody that I've worked with, but I'm talking like in business in general. If you look at, we haven't had a woman president, anything, right? Girls, like, or people that are watching this, I'm just saying, women in power, it's taking us some time. And the reason why I agreed to do this was because I still feel very passionate about that. Like, I want girls to think it's okay. Like, you can do things like this. It's going to be hard. You're going to have a lot of roadblocks. Yeah. Men are still going to be the more dominant species right now. You just got to keep going.
No, well said. I couldn't have said it any better. Julie or Kristi, do either of you have anything that you want to add to that?
I like the women's side of things, but I think it's just started men doing it, and it'll trickle in. But that's definitely something I could see myself doing later. I love the entrepreneur mindset, and so I'm really big on supporting people that just have that mindset, that just want to grind and work and get better. But I have found myself like gravitating towards other women and like, how can I help them? And so I want to jump in, and if I see somebody asking questions, I do like to, if it's a woman, I like to chime in there. And I think it's just because it's, the numbers of women compared to men are so different that it's the support aspect. If it was 50-50, it wouldn't be an issue, obviously. Mm-hmm. But it's just us reaching out and giving that support. But I like to support everybody, just grinding and trying to get it done for sure.
I think my desire, my thought behind this was just for other women to feel like someone was going through what they were going through, for them to have a voice that and maybe encourage them to just start stepping out of the shadows a little bit more. They're there. I see them all the time.
And you can be an expert. You're an expert. You're just as good as the guy down the road.
Yeah.
It's just better because we're very detail oriented.
Yeah, everyone is saying that in the chat.
Yeah.
Right?
Chelsea, you had a video that resonated with me. You're in the middle of your detail. You had to go get food out of the freezer, right? And take it in and thaw it out. Same spot for me. It's like, oh no, what are we doing for dinner? I better go figure something out. Now I get back out and get going on the vehicle. And just little stuff like that. It's like, oh, yep. Been there, done that. It's nice.
Kristi, what about you?
No, I was actually just, agreeing with all of you guys. I mean, I kind of feel the same way, when I first started, especially with the YouTube channel, I was very self-conscious with it because, and I don't know if it was because I'm a woman, but Chelsea, I think we touched on this a little bit, I think women, have to approach it a little differently. Like you were saying, you choose not to wear makeup and to cover yourself up. Like it's a thought that we have to think about. Like, what am I wearing? What is this
Yes.
on camera?
Yes,
What is
girl.
the perception that people are getting from this when my intention is just a detail, but am I showing to, you know what I mean?
Guys don't have to think about that.
No. Yes.
They're out there with their t-shirts and tight jeans. And they're just
or they could have their shirt off, damn it, and it would be fine. You know what I mean?
Am I wearing this Carhartt? Do they think I'm like gay?
No.
Like, what should I need to look prettier.
It is. And that was a struggle for me, which is why if you see any of my, please don't go back and look at any of my old videos, please. But if you do, you're going to notice there's no face in them. It's all my hands and like, the camera just showing this part of me because I was so self-conscious. So I think for me, it's just empowering women, like just not, I mean, we're always going to worry about those things, but if we're out there doing us and our intention is good, then F what everybody else.
We're just saturating the market. Like just
I think
it normal.
Bruce made a really good comment, honestly, I thought earlier. He said something about don't wait for, the acceptance in the industry. I don't know where it is. I lost it. But he talked about don't wait for acceptance. Like women just need to get out there and do it. And I think that's such a good message. Like we don't need to wait, for somebody to tell us that it's okay to dominate this industry. Like if that's where we want to go with it, then let's go there. Maybe dominate's the wrong word, but you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If we want to make our mark, if we want to, put a footprint, in this
make
industry,
our presence known.
Yeah, then we just need to do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
And we're getting there. We're just slower. We're very different than the male species.
Yeah.
It's just we're a lot in our head. It takes some time.
Problem.
I do think some of it is in our head. Honestly, we feel like we're being judged when in reality people are just sitting there appreciating, and that's one of the downfalls of women, that we're always comparing ourselves to other women and seeing where we rank, and
or where somebody else ranks us.
Yeah. So men I don't think will ever understand fully, some of the emotional stuff that we go through. Yeah. Hopefully those who have watched maybe are enlightened after tonight.
I do want to point out that I am in a wild demographic in Lansing, Michigan, where I do not have a lot of.
I know. I love how you do that.
I'm in Pennsylvania here.
I'm like, how do I do
California? I love that Lansing. I don't have a lot of competitors here, and my largest competitor is Jessica from PNF, right down the road. It's fantastic. No, I've done a lot of pushback on it for many years, like 2 or 3 years. I was like, oh, Jessica.
It's actually the new Karen name. Like Jessica.
Tell me how you feel.
But now people will walk into my shop and they're like, tell me about your ceramic coatings. Like, I'm very interested. And I think I have gained more respect from the clients that I actually want when I tell them, if you're shopping around, there are 2 shops in town. Mine is one, Jessica's the other. So if you're not going for me, I would highly recommend Jessica. And Jessica, it's crazy, right? But to be fair, I got Jessica B on customer service.
Hope she's not watching.
Right, Jessica, I love you. You know I do. We both trade back and forth customers, but I'm in a very unique market, and I learned, I want to say this only because I super embrace this now after a couple years, but my highest competitor was another woman. How fantastic is that, girls?
Yeah.
There are none in my area. They're all guys. I don't even know if they have a single woman that works
This is
for
exactly
them.
what I'm
Me
saying.
either.
I love you.
When I was at a Detail Wise Academy class, it was one of the business classes. There were two young gentlemen there, brothers, that every employee in their shop other than them were women. And they were the number one detailing shop in their area.
Oh, look
And
at
they
that.
said we will only ever hire women because their level for attention to detail, pun intended, is bar none. And their work ethic is bar none. And I was like, that's what I want to see. And I'm not saying like I want to dominate and take over, but I just want women to know they can do this and do it amazingly well, and they don't have to be afraid to speak out. I think for me, the thing that I would love to see in the industry change is a little bit more transparency when it comes to products, durability claims, transparency on where they're made, how they're made. I think that's some of my frustration, because as someone who does content creation and I'm having to explain that information to the viewer, I'm just sometimes repeating back what the companies say to me, and we're taking blind faith that it works. And I feel like I have to be a detective some days and dig deeper and do my own interrogation to what the product is. And so I don't know. I wish there would be more transparency in how they make the products and all that stuff. But well, I feel like this video, we could just keep going forever.
I do
feel
want
like
to take a moment out and say, because Ivan, I don't know if it's Ivan or Sylvie, but have you all girls met Sylvie?
she's amazing.
Right?
I hope to meet her this year.
Sylvie is like the OG girl detailer of our entire industry.
Yeah.
This woman is by far my hugest, like, what is it? Like your
Inspiration or
yes.
or
Oh
your
my
muse?
God. She yes. my
Spirit
muse,
animal.
like, spirit animal. Thank you. Sylvie is amazing. If anybody has not met Sylvie, she is Ivan's counterpart. But she is half of Ivan. So everything that you see Ivan do, half of what Ivan is, Sylvie has created. No, Ivan wouldn't be where Ivan is without Sylvie. Sylvie is absolutely amazing, and she's beautiful and an amazing person. I love her. I just wanted to give a shout out to her.
Now, he actually said she's more famous in Canada than he is.
Yeah, she is an inspiration.
But she's probably
she could run circles around all of us.
I understand why she doesn't step out more, because of her frustration with, or difficulty with speaking English.
Mm-hmm.
But my goal with this channel is to have her on. I don't care if we have to have a translator or whatnot. I would love to have her on to show.
Well, I would love to be on if Sylvie's on. God, I love that woman.
I'm sure she's watching now, and hopefully, Sylvie, mad respect for you and what you and I
we
have
love
been
you,
able to
girl. Do. You are our GOAT. You are the women's GOAT of the industry.
I have Google Translate. I will happily speak. No,
that would be amazing.
I feel like we haven't done a ton of discussion about detailing products, and I'm totally okay with that, because that can be for future episodes.
Okay.
I mean, if you guys want to talk detailing products, we can, but I like the mom in me is like, my husband is literally staring at me saying the kids have to go to bed. I'm not gonna
Mine is texting from their room.
No, that's not me saying, but my final question for you guys is, what advice would you give to a mom, a wife, a lady who's maybe considering detailing as a career? What advice would you give them?
Just do it.
Just do it. I was just thinking the same thing.
You have to start. If you wait till everything's set in stone, you're never going to start. You just got to start.
Yeah.
Just in case anybody was curious about spoiler alerts, we all die at the end. So go for it, girl.
I didn't know where you were going with that at first.
I was like,
What?
well, that just took a
Gotcha.
morbid twist.
I get it now.
Seize the day, I think, is what she's trying
Yes,
to say.
Thank you.
Carpe diem. You only have one life to live. I thought
Yeah.
you were saying the
For it.
rapture is coming. I was like, I mean, it is. We just don't know
I
when.
was like, who have you been talking to? What
Just
do you
do
know?
it.
about
You got it. You got it.
Oh my gosh.
And if you don't, then fine. You learn from it. It's a mistake. We all learn from our mistakes, and you do something different, girl. Go out and get it. You're completely and utterly capable of it, just like anyone else.
Yeah.
My final question to each of you, and I'll ask you individually, if you could go back in time and give advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Younger detailer or younger self?
Self.
Play hockey when I was younger?
Okay, maybe detailing, Julie.
Oh.
It's like, just do it.
I have two very different answers.
I was just thinking that, Christine, like, this could go one way or the other. Like,
But then you wouldn't have your kids.
I know you're all thinking.
Everything happens for a reason.
I can give like my detailing advice would definitely be focus on the business side of it too. Get a tax person right away to just do your taxes. Doesn't matter how much it costs. Get a bookkeeper. Just give them your
Life
stuff.
easier.
Focus on the detailing and the business. I think those are two of my biggest things that like I can detail. Like that's easy. The business side of it is a hard part, but I love it. I love learning everything, the ins and outs and all that stuff. So I've grown so much in that sense. But I think getting a bookkeeper for sure. And then just really growing on your business sense and customer service and how to just overall the business part of it. Detailing's easy. The business part got to work on that.
Yeah. What about you, Kristi?
For the detailing self, I think for me, I would say to not fall into the trap that you need all of the latest and greatest and all of the new, tools and equipment and the doodads and everything that comes out. You don't need it all, especially at the beginning. You shouldn't, put yourself in debt before you get started to such an extent where it takes you so long to get out of it. So that's definitely what I would tell, for the detailing part of it. For anything else, I think for me, I would tell my younger self to be more present. I think time goes by so fast. Literally, time waits for no one. So I think as my younger self, I've had so many great experiences. I've done so many things, but I feel like things have gone by so fast. And I don't know that I was always present and in the moment, like savoring every bit that was happening. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Yes.
With the world and again, just anxiety and things that you fill your head with. And, I think I would tell myself to just breathe and be present. Take it all in.
What about you, Christine?
Wow. All great answers. I would say if I could tell my younger self something that would really make a huge difference is managing customers' expectations as far as the service that I'm providing that they have come for. That would alleviate a lot of time, which time equals money for me and my business. So please, girl, manage your customers' expectations right up at the front. Gosh,
Communicate.
Yes, I couldn't even tell you how many black cars, GM vehicles I've spent just like 8 hours on, or even interior details. Like I can knock out an interior detail now in 3 hours based on expectations, because I do add-ons like interior restoration So if they don't click that, I'm not going above and beyond. Right? It is what it is. You
Your
had
time,
that option.
your time is precious. Yeah.
Yeah. You should have
you-
checked the box.
If you felt like you had excess dog hair, you should have clicked that. Or at least when they come into the shop, then I can say, well, that's even, another customer. Whatever I was saying, I'm so sorry. But then I can at least like come back and say, like when the vehicle's pulled in and I'm doing the inspection, I can say, hey, look, you have excess dog hair. I said that this is like a $30 upcharge. Are you willing to do that? Or do you just want me to go with what my basic is? So your vehicle will be ready in 3 hours. I'm going to do the best I can.
Yeah. Well, I think all amazing pieces of advice. I think honestly, if I were to go back in time, I would say don't wear that top with the cowboy boot tassels. And it's okay to not be girly. It's okay to like
Not the
sports.
tassel.
It's okay to be different. And you don't have to look like everyone else. And you don't have to fit a mold. And it will all play out okay. It will all be
well,
okay.
And I mean, if girls are watching this and they feel like they're different, honey, yes, you are. If you're starting a detailing business, you are different than the general women population. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah,
It's okay.
that's true.
Yeah. But you can also have a very
successful,
family, rewarding business with flexibility.
That.
Yeah. I mean, if I were to try to pick if I were to try to pick a different career, I honestly don't know what I would want. Like I've done a lot and I keep landing. I'm like, but I enjoy it. I think once that passion goes away, then I'll know that God is kind of closing that door and it's time to move on. But it's all about finding that balance so you don't hate it.
That's true.
So how can our guests find you guys online? A lot of people have been asking for your channels, names, and how to find you guys if they want to follow you. Can you guys quickly share with us how they can find you and follow you? Julie?
Yeah, so I am detailing with love on YouTube. And then my goal with the YouTube was to do some free details for trying to do more.
Julie is like the
you're a saint.
Like she is amazing.
I don't know, when I find somebody
Julie needs her own channel and own interview.
I like doing that. I don't know. It's nice when you can just give somebody that peace of mind. So that's where and then on TikTok is Wonderful Life in Details. So, and then I'm 3T Detailing on Instagram, Facebook. So
go watch her channel. She is amazing.
I have fun. Like talk about the makeup. You can find some interesting ones of me in there. I'm just like, my hair's, whatever.
It's not a glamorous job.
I thank Gary V for that a lot. He's just do it. And he really gave me that daily affirmation, that confidence. So I'm just like, if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it later.
I started like doing it with shaved heads. Like, put a wig on those dudes. Like, let's you like vacuum stuff into the vacuum.
Oh, Kristi, how can people find you?
My YouTube is at Details in Me. You have to put the N. It's not IN, it's N. It's a little weird. I really wish I would have chosen a different name, but that's okay. So at Details in Me, and then on Instagram, I'm just Kristi Torres. My Instagram is more family and detailing, kind of a mix. My YouTube is just detailing. So.
And Christine, I know you said you're taking a step away, but your followers have come out in full force. They don't want you to go away.
Yes. So you can find me on Detailer Chick on Instagram. Otherwise, I just have right now my personal Facebook page. You can try to friend request me. Sometimes I accept, sometimes I don't.
Boundaries. Are you still doing the podcast thing, or is that kind of done?
No, I've taken a huge step back from the whole detailing industry. I've been approached by other companies and I've turned them down. I'm just not ready to be back in the industry. Sorry, guys.
Well,
If
when
anybody
you
wants me
when
to
you're ready,
have
we'll
a
be here
podcast,
for it.
I'd be happy to be on, but I'm just not interested in doing anything major right now.
Hey,
But
you're-
I love you all. If you want to send me any sort of questions, I love to help other detailers. So again, I still have the Detailer Chick Instagram feed. And if you want to friend request me and send me a message, I love helping other detailers. So please, by all means, send me a message.
Yeah, and if there's any women out there that have
Yes.
questions,
yes.
feel free to message any of us.
Yes, please.
We're here
I
to help.
welcome that.
Call
Well,
me, no matter what.
I mean, don't call me. But feel free to message me. Boundaries, Julie. Don't put that out there.
I don't care.
I still have random
I'm
people
gonna
like,
have to
hey, I
go.
follow you on your channel. Can I ask a question? And I'm like, I'm in the middle of cooking dinner right now. I
Sometimes
thought you were a
yeah.
customer. Like,
I'm gonna have to take off. I have a customer just pulled in my driveway. It's only 5:30 here, so they're picking
Julie,
up a
thank you
bit.
so much. We're pretty much wrapping up. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Chels,
Yeah,
I haven't been on social media. Do you have a minute to answer some people's questions that might have any that are stragglers?
Sure.
Does anybody have questions?
We had a couple starred that I feel like we
Oh,
hit
yeah, go
most
ahead,
of them.
girl.
Becca just asked Christine if you do tint.
So, sorry, I'm reading this one.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
All right.
So,
Any of you into cars, or is it just detailing, or is cars just a means?
go ahead, girl. Kristi?
I don't know if I would say I'm into cars particularly, but I've always been into, like my whole life I've gone to like races, drag strips, quads, dirt bikes, that whole thing, riding on the dunes. So I've kind of always been around, truck shows, car shows. I've always been around it. Am I into like cars? Like, do I have a favorite, like, car? Not cars particularly. I think just kind of the whole industry. I've kind of always been into the automotive thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
And then,
no, I get that. I
Yeah.
totally understand because I feel like I'm the same way.
yeah,
I enjoy vehicles, but I mean, if I was put on the spot or if there was money on the line, I couldn't tell you the year, make, and model of
Yeah.
some vehicles, right?
Same.
And I'm definitely not a wrencher, so I do the basics, right? I can rotate the tires. I can look at basics. The Jeep is a bit more user friendly than a lot, especially if it's a foreign vehicle. But I'm not a wrencher. I don't get off on like YouTubing stuff and trying to like fix stuff under my hood or like my Jeep's a turbo. That's kind of fun, but I probably don't get my jollies off as much as like maybe somebody else that's a Jeeper that likes the turbos. I would say maybe moderate
Yeah.
as a car enthusiast.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
I'm not a wrencher. I don't change oil. I appreciate the beauty and the art of a vehicle. Like I'll go to car shows and I love the aesthetic look of them.
Oh, yeah.
You
Mhm.
raise an engine and show me the motor and I will clean that so well. But if I were to try to answer horsepower and filters and
Yeah.
carburetor, that is all lost on me. That's probably disappointing for some. There are some detailers that, they're really big wrench heads, I guess is the term, but
Wrenchers, yeah.
Yeah.
I think cars are art. I enjoy the beauty of them. Some of the
I
newer
agree.
ones, I honestly prefer the classic cars when it comes
Agreed.
to the aesthetic.
So, yeah.
And some of the newer cars, they're trying to like recreate the old ones. I'm like, you fell short on that one, but
Yeah.
I wish they would honestly bring back like the 1970s Bronco and that style vehicle.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
fun fact.
Freaking
That was
awesome.
like my first vehicle.
Oh, I'm
Was
jealous.
it Bronco?
Bronco 2. It was the Bronco 2.
Oh,
So
okay.
much
A little
shorter.
smaller.
Yeah, looks a lot like a Jeep. Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I think those are awesome. I always wanted like a Ford Ranger. I don't know why. I just think they're cool cars,
Yeah.
like
No,
the
I
old
agree.
school ones.
My
You
first
got another
car
one, Chelsea?
was a Chevy S10 Blazer.
Oh, yes.
That was my
I'm
first car.
fairly certain it was my virginity in the
Well, this just took a twist.
Me too.
Oh God.
Just saying.
Not me. Not me. Oh my
I
gosh.
love that, Carmen. Oh, yeah.
Christine, do you do tint? You might need it for that car.
You might need it. My windows were tinted.
what? No, I don't. Excuse me. Getting back to the business of things. No, I do not offer tint at this moment. It's really been on my radar for many years. Obviously, I picked up PPF, and I didn't do tint. And if push came to shove, and I had to choose picking up a new trade, it would probably be vinyl wrapping over tint. I've tried it once, and I absolutely hated it.
Yeah, I am super intimidated by the idea of PPF. I know that is probably the direction that the industry is moving towards. To do
I
it by
think it
myself
is.
though, in my garage that's not like dust-free environment, it wouldn't work. Like
And again, I think the industry's just like starting to get saturated with PPF. So we're having this very like push pull, or like where you have the guys that are like Instagram porn or detailing porn with the PPF, and then you have regular shops that have been offering PPF since 3M has been like the major PPF manufacturer. And so we're like having this like we're trying to come to this middle ground. And it's going to take like probably another 5 years where the industry finally finds a place for PPF. I mean, we have Steck that is already coming out with this like, hey, listen, we feel like people are way different on pricing, and so they're structuring prices. And that's why I say we're in this very like, we're trying to get it to be closer to this middle ground, if that makes sense to everybody, as far as it comes down to quality of the actual product itself and the installers. So we're all trying to learn, and I mean all as in the industry, and installers are trying to learn how to install PPF, and we're getting very different levels of experience or struggling with managing expectations, right? Like, does that all make sense to you girls? Like,
no, yeah.
You
Just
have
because
to,
it's a hot commodity and everyone wants to get in on it and they buy a plotter and they think they can handle it doesn't mean that the results are consistent across the board, and the prices sometimes are so, like you said, like, and it is, I feel like coating prices are starting to get more, where people are realizing gone are the days of a $500 coating,
Yeah.
you know, with a polish and all that stuff. Like, it needs to be closer to 1,000, you know, realistically. But PPF,
like a 3-year,
it varies so much. I've had some customers say 5 to
yeah.
10,000, and other people are like, you know, 1,000, and I'm like,
Yeah.
And it's,
you did the headlights. That's it.
Yeah.
we're just so here in our industry when it comes to PPF. So if you guys are all trying to get into it, I highly suggest starting and getting your hands on some PPF. The good news right now with how the industry is like booming with PPF, you're going to get great high quality paint protection film, and you're going to have options. Meaning, when I came into the industry of PPF, really when it came down to it, I really had two great options. I had Expel and I had S-Tech, and those were ideally the only two you came with. And now other companies are branching out into this. So you're going to have other options that might be a bit more affordable, and great options to play around with. So again, I would highly suggest getting that PPF into your shop, finding places that offer paint protection film that you can buy without doing like these extraordinary high cost training programs. And they're out there, guys. Again, if you have any questions, you can contact me. Even though I haven't been in front of the camera a lot, I still work with a lot of product companies. So I know a lot about different PPF companies and products. So I can get you in touch with those. And I would say, start offering paint protection film for headlights. Start offering paint protection film for
Pillars.
Partial. Yeah, right.
Easy.
I just hand cut some door cups, right? Super easy. It needs to be tedious, but you can get it. You can do partial hoods. You can do partial roofs, all that jazz. Sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent. Girl.
No, I can tell you're passionate about it. So you said Expel. Have you tried optical?
Yes, I've tried optical. I've tried
Stack?
Well, that's the one I usually use.
Okay.
I've tried a couple different ones. I'm sorry that I'm like
No, it's okay.
off in la la land, but
Kristi, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say with the whole thing, I think more than anything, people are just trying to be more versatile in the things that they offer and services, because it's such a saturated market at this point. How do you stand out from someone else? Well, you offer more services, you offer more things, or you have more things that you can upsell with. I don't know, like you're saying, I don't know that I see PPF becoming, a big thing. I think people are just trying to branch out in the areas they feel they can make more money with.
I agree. And Kristi, a good one that will always be there is customer service. So always stand out on customer service. Stand out on the things, because if you read books about business, the pumpkin, what is it? The pumpkin, I can't think of it. That book.
If I Google pumpkin business book,
it'll pop up. Anyway, you want to differentiate yourself from your competitor. It doesn't matter what that is, but you have to make sure that you differentiate yourself from that. And
the pumpkin plan.
The pumpkin plan. Yes, girl. Customer service, 100% hands down, I got in Lansing. There is no one here in Lansing that's going to provide customer service like I got. And Jessica, I love you more than life, but I have won some stuff on customer service.
She's like, you've got schooled. We can always learn, right?
Always. Jessica's got me beat on other things 100% hands down.
Well, listen, I know that there were a few other questions that people had, but I literally, my son,
you're fine.
He's literally holding every container of medicine because he has the flu, and he's like, what do I take before I go to bed? So I probably need to wrap this one up. This has been such a fun episode. Christine.
This was great.
Yeah.
Kristi, Julie, hopefully she'll play back, but I feel like I made deep friends.
Thank everybody.
Yes.
Thank you guys for sharing your time. I know you have busy lives.
Everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you have questions, put them in the comment section, and maybe we can come back in and answer them for you guys. But thank you guys so much. This was such a delight. Honestly, you filled my cup. Next week, I'm excited. We're going to have Pan, the organizer, on. So make sure you guys tune in to ask all of your questions for Pan. So that will be next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Christine and Kristi, you guys keep doing what you're doing. You're kicking butt.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, this was so much fun. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Have a great
night.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.